When I was told, I didn't really think anything of it. I just was like, I actually felt happy because it was like, oh, I'm not crazy. It's like now all in my head. Like I now know what's wrong with me.
With fewer daylight hours during the winter season, it's time to check in on your friends grappling with winter blues, commonly known as seasonal depression, seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. Marked by decreased serotonin activity and increased melatonin levels, experts say it's crucial for everyone to keep an eye out for symptoms during the colder months, as many people don't realize they are even affected.
With the seasons changing, but the fall has been the fall has there's a lot of loss that is associated with the fall, in terms of anniversary of friends passing or relationship ending or things of the sort. And you couple that with the fact that the days are getting shorter, it's getting colder out, so the activities that you know we were doing in the summertime are not readily available. It's compounded.
What's coined as the most wonderful time of year is not the reality for everyone. According to a report by the National Institute of Mental Health, seasonal depression affects millions of people, most often occurring in women. However, Howard University student Nasha Adams says it's not nearly discussed enough pertaining to women of color.
I was diagnosed probably about 6 years ago, but I've been struggling with it for about 12 years now. After my diagnosis, I've had a foundation with my Black family specifically, but in the Black community, I don't really see much of a conversation around mental illness and how to help combat mental illness, because a lot of the times I actually see it as kind of like some people get it beat out of them, like when they're younger, they get punished for that. And I'm thankful that my parents didn't do that and they listened to me. And it's just like, oh, you're faking it. Stop doing that. Get out of, if you're in bed all day and you don't want to do anything, get out of bed. Stop it. There's nothing wrong with you. And I'm glad I wasn't met with that. But I really want to see the narrative change around that, especially for Black people as well.
For Adams, it's important to have a strong support system to help her cope with seasonal depression and face it head on. It is her hope that the narrative surrounding mental health in the Black community can change for the better. NewsVision's Furin-Campbell spoke with Victoria Greer, another Howard University student who struggles with seasonal depression. She says that a combination of therapy, support from her family, and self-help practices have greatly improved her mental health and daily life.
People think that you can just turn it off and on, or it's easy for you to endure, especially with people who have high functioning depression like I do. Sometimes it's very easy for me to mask how I'm feeling or how I'm doing inside. When I first started therapy and going to see my therapist, I was at a point where I literally could not go outside by myself because I was so afraid that something was going to happen to me. If you can get a Black therapist, getting a Black therapist is very helpful, just because I've had white therapists and sometimes they just don't understand where I'm coming from in a cultural sense. And so there can be that disconnect there, which prevents you from connecting with your therapist on other things that have nothing about your mental health and not necessarily your identity.
With mental health sometimes being overlooked or taboo within the Black community, experts say it's important to speak out and advocate for safe mental health spaces to eliminate disparities. With Howard University NewsVision, in Washington, D.C., I'm Brianna Alvarado.